while ago, I made a video, and this video was the first one in this little mini series that I'm doing. And the first video was talking about different sectors that I wanted to invest in as part of my dividend portfolio. And I also brainstormed some companies that would fall into them sectors. I put that video out and I asked for you guys to leave some comments and any advice and suggestions that you had. Gathered all of that up, did my further research, and now I'm back with episode 2. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing which sectors and which companies I've picked for my dividend portfolio. This is where I left it last time. I wrote down some key points that I wanted to make sure my dividend portfolio achieved, some reasons and some goals I wanted to hit. And as I said, I went down the list, made some suggestions as to sectors I could invest in and some companies that just came off the top of my head that would fall into those sectors. I need to update this now because, like I said, I've gone away and I've actually streamlined this into exactly what I want. So let's remove this and we're just going to start again. The first sector is still going to be financial/banking. And in particular, the company that I've decided to go with is HSBC. I should just give some background actually. To come up with these companies, I've looked into their financials, their performance, their dividend, their dividend history, their dividend yield. I've taken all of that into consideration and then I've picked which companies I want in my portfolio. This isn't to say that these are the only companies that are ever going to be in my portfolio, or this is going to be the only company ever to be in my portfolio as a bank. I'm not saying that because I know that Lloyd's are great and there's others out there. It's just for now, this is where I'm going to start. My plan is to buy a certain amount of shares of each company in my portfolio rather than having, let's say, 30 different companies and I can only afford half a share of. Because obviously that's not going to help me compound my dividends over time. So I'm going to start off small and build from there. The next sector is going to be consumer goods. And the company that I want to put in this sector is Diageo. I did also really like Unilever for this sector, but for now I'm just going to leave it as that and I'll look to add Unilever at a different point in time. The third sector is insurance. And I'm going with legal and general. Again, Aviva was a great shout for this, but just to keep it nice and simple. Then we've got metals/mining, and Rio Tinto is going to be the clear winner for this sector. Pharmaceuticals is my next one, pharma. And I've decided to opt for GSK. Again, AstraZeneca was a really good option here, but just from my research, I've decided to go with GSK. The next one is renewable energy. Now, I did mention actually in the last video that I didn't know really whether I should invest into tobacco companies, whether I should invest into non-renewable energy companies. I was in a bit of a dilemma. I've decided that I'm going to not invest in non-renewable energy at the moment. Instead, I'm going to focus on renewable energy companies or companies that promote renewable energy, are environmentally friendly basically. Because I think that's going to have to be the future. So that's what I'm going with. So in renewable energy, I had quite a few options that looked really good, but I'm going to go with a company called Renewable Infrastructure. TRIG, that's their ticker symbol. I believe a lot of people know them by that actually. Next, we've got retail, and I'm popping Tesco in here. I'm going to put a few question marks. I don't know whether I'm going to necessarily invest into Tesco straight away, or I may wait a while. And then we've got utilities. Again, there are a lot of options. There was National Grid, SSE, United Utilities. I didn't want to throw money into all of them just because, like I said, I want to own a good amount of shares of the companies I invest in rather than a really small amount. I've had to look at my finances and what I can actually afford to put into this portfolio. So I've gone with National Grid for this one. Next, I've got a category called Other, but I suppose by process of elimination as to what companies would fall into this, I could call this Defence, but that is BAE Systems. I think they're a really good shout. The next one, I'm going to put these separately actually. So those are all my standard companies that I'm going to be starting with, and I will share my finished portfolio in the next video, but that's where I'm starting. I'm going to buy into them companies. The plan is obviously, as I've said many times, to reinvest any dividends I get and just keep compounding through growth and through dividend reinvesting. And over time, hopefully I'll be getting enough dividends from these companies to hit these goals. So £10 a month is my first goal, then £50 a month. And eventually I want to be able to cover my rent payments just through my dividend income or mortgage payment, wherever I stand at that point. That would be fantastic. Small steps to begin with, I think, for this one. And I'm going to be tracking all of this. So I'm going to make myself a really lovely spreadsheet, super excited, what a geek, tracking every dividend that I get and showing you guys. Because I find it really, really interesting to see how someone started just with 50 pence, pound a month, and now they're at £400 a month. That's really cool. And it's a great motivating factor. So I'm definitely going to do that as well. Anyway, back to this list. The next category is going to be REITs. Now, some of you guys did question whether you could have REITs in a UK ISA. I've done some research. It looks like it's absolutely fine to do so. If you know otherwise, do leave me a comment. But from my research, it looks absolutely fine. I did pop a question on my community post, which I love to do, a little poll, and ask which UK REIT you would invest in. I can't remember the response. I could have a look, but a lot of you gave your opinion, and thank you very much. And the company that I've decided to go with are Tritax. They look fantastic. There were many options here though. They all looked good, but that's the one I've decided to go with. And I will also be investing in ETFs. So I still have my ETFs and index funds in Vanguard. They're ticking along. I'm not going to be, and I haven't changed them at all. Can't pay into them anymore because I've moved ISA provider, as you'll know. I'm going to still invest into an S&P 500 ETF. And the one that I think I'm going to go with is the iShares S&P 500 ETF. It won't let me add the little I. Okay, I think I'm gonna get the income paying version of this rather than the accumulation and just reinvest the dividends. I believe that's the one on Interactive Brokers. So yeah, that will be really great. And that's gonna be the largest portion of my portfolio. I don't believe that people can beat the market. I mean, some people can, but it's very rare. So I do plan to hold the majority of my money in ETFs. I'm not trying to beat the market with this. I'm just trying to build up a dividend income stream. I know a lot of people have said, don't be silly, just invest into ETFs. I still plan to. That will be my largest holding. I just want to start building over time, over many, many years, a dividend income stream. And I do have some plans to have some US stocks in here as well. This isn't as confirmed. I know I'm going to be holding Tesla in here. That's obviously not a dividend stock, so we're going to remove that one for now. I may look at Realty Income Corp. That is obviously another REIT, but they are fantastic. They pay every single month. I may have a look into maybe McDonald's, maybe Disney. I haven't decided that yet, but what I have decided is these ones. So that's in place. The next step now is to actually make these investments. I've jotted down already actually, which I won't share yet, but exactly how many shares of each company I'm going to buy and how much that will cost. So I'm going to go away, I'm going to do that. And then I will be back with another video sharing my dividend portfolio. And from then on, we will have monthly, maybe even weekly, we'll see how it goes, dividend portfolio updates, which is super, super exciting. And like I said, I'm going to have a nice spreadsheet to track this all on. If you want to give me any suggestions of companies that you would add, remove, please do. Like I said, I'm pretty happy with this, but I'm always open to suggestions. I am still a beginner after all. So yeah, I hope you guys are as excited as I am about this. Been buzzing to do this for a long, long time. In the meantime, if you want to find out why I picked Interactive Brokers for my ISA provider this tax year, click here.